What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. Didn't do any shows over the weekend. Last show we did was Friday. Um, Friday and Saturday, I know I did go 5-1, and then Sunday I went 0-1. So 5-2 since we last spoke. I am disappointed in myself for not getting to the window on two of the football games we talked about, and only getting to the winner on the window on the loser. I did not bet the Bears. I did not bet the Bills. I bet the sorry ass Chargers. So that was pretty annoying. But otherwise, 5-2. You can't complain too much. Vino, good to be back with you. How have you been?
I've been better, but I'm okay, Skee. I mean, we survived days like yesterday where, as I said to you off air, the NFL was a total disaster for me. But basketball was fine. I think yesterday was a 2-2 split, nothing major. Saturday was a good basketball day. Friday, I believe Friday was the day we had Phoenix as our only play. I'd have to go back. These days fly by so quick, but I do think we left Phoenix as the play. I'm trying to look here for the chat on. They played the Knicks. No, that couldn't have been where I'm going. Whatever it was, it was okay on Friday. I do remember yesterday though; it was pretty rough. Yeah, real quick here. There were probably a couple of points where you were saying to yourself, "Damn, I'm glad I didn't bet the Bears. Damn,
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't
yeah,
bet the
yeah.
Bills." But they both worked out pretty good.
I'll say the Bills game went a little more how I expected. Like I know as long as you give Josh Allen a chance, he's gonna win the game
Right.
at the end. And I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. And we saw what happened there. But the Bears game, I guess I don't know. They got down. I mean, they had been a good second half team.
Yeah.
Um, but 21-3, I did kind of feel like it was over. That's one of the games though where you see a lot of teams going for it nowadays. The Bears kicked a few field goals, and that's the reason they were even able to come back and win the game. So coaches should be taking some notes there. One more thing before Razor says, "Hey, this is NBA. No need to talk about the Bears." That's a Packers fan right there, Ravino. Shout
Sorry,
out to my
Razor.
guy Razor. Yeah, let's have a day today. But before I move on to basketball, I do have to mention one more thing because it's just on my mind. And Gio says he wasn't expecting that from Herbert, even though he took a beating out there. I wasn't expecting it from Herbert either. I did a lot of taking up for Herbert on multiple different shows and the Chargers and et cetera, et cetera. And I looked like an idiot. Um, we know here's what I have to say, Rob. The offensive line has been hurt since about week 6. Like Slater was hurt before the season. Joe Alt went down in week 6. So they've been the same bad offensive line for 11 weeks, right? I don't understand why everybody all of a sudden is saying, "Oh, well, he has a bad offensive line." Like he's had this same line when he was winning those games to still make the playoffs. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I got a couple of thoughts. First of all, you and I did talk about the game last week at some point, and the Chargers wanted that matchup, right? New England wasn't really good as a pressure type team, so they thought that even with the injuries on their offensive line, hey, we can defend Herbert. I come out of last night's game thinking, I mean, you wanted that, you knew that, but the game plan looked like they didn't even understand anything. I mean, I don't know where that and I could say that for a couple of teams yesterday, Philadelphia included. Philadelphia faces a defense in San Francisco that's been bad for 10 weeks. That had 3 guys across the middle, linebackers that were 5, 6, and 7 on their depth chart. Not 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, and 7. And your game plan is, we'll just come out and run Barkley right into the teeth of the defense that is set up to stop Barkley. Some of these coaches, Skee, Jim Harbaugh, and Nick Sirianni in particular, who had 7 days to get ready for matchups where they had huge advantages in. The game plans look terrible. I do somewhat feel for Justin Herbert, who's run for his life for the last 7, 8 weeks. I mean, he dropped. I think he's skittish at this point in time. He missed some throws where he did get out of the pocket and had guys and just missed them. And I think that's a product of just being extremely nervous about your protection. But like you say, it didn't go well for them. Credit to New England. They game planned better. I think Vrabel did. They showed some pass rush. Credit to San Francisco. Certainly they game planned better. But I'm kind of glad this town is rid of the Eagles. And I won't say that about your Chargers because it's your team. But some of these guys have to learn. You can't just come in with caveman mentality and think, oh, we're going to run over these guys. It doesn't work. And to your point, real quick, I'll get on my soapbox. And this is an NBA show. I shouldn't even do this. But you brought it up earlier, and I swear to God, Liam Cohen is the guy walking around looking for the 3 points that he chose to just give up and take a 0 for in the second quarter. What are we doing going for 4th and 2 in the second quarter with 11 minutes left when you're winning the game? Swear to God, I sat on my couch here in southeastern Pennsylvania with a buddy of my son's next to me, and I said, you know what? Josh Allen's going to go 96 yards now for a touchdown. You can't give these guys opportunities. And I just wonder what these coaches are thinking, changing 3 for nothing and then losing by 3 in the end. Makes no sense. It comes from analytics, I know, but I'm with you. Some of these coaches need to get that notepad out and take some lessons from guys who do it the right way. Sean McDermott did it the right way yesterday, and that's why Buffalo won.
All right, let's get to it, Vino. We got about 5 or 6 of those games today in the association.
Yes.
I mean, there is a Monday Night Football game too. Kind of forgot all about it, but we'll start off how we always do. Looks like 533, 534. Jazz and Cavs opened up minus 13.5. Looks like 13. Total open 246.5. 250.5. Rob, I mean, at some point you have to start raising these Cavs and Jazz totals. I understand. Niang is out for Utah. Strus and Dean Wade out for the Cavs. Cavs pretty healthy right now, as healthy as they've been in a while. So yeah, I understand why this total is so high. The one thing I'll say is Jazz have been a little bit more of an under team on the road, over team at home, but they still, a team that wants to get out and run, doesn't play good defense. And the Cavaliers, the same boat. They haven't been a really good defensive team. So I can understand why this total is really high. It would make me nervous to play it under. But, I mean, it is 2 really bad defenses here. But the same applies, right? I mean, can we still trust the Cavaliers to win by 14 if they're not getting stops either? I think it could be a chance for Utah to be competitive. And correct me if I'm wrong, Utah is off of a beatdown. I mean, I'd like to think that, they show some pride and try to compete tonight. I'm thinking about Utah plus here, Rob Veno. Can you talk me off?
Yeah, the last 2 things you said were my angle, and I'll add one more to that angle. But when you lose 150 to 95, there's got to be some sort of pride to come back and play hard the next game. And Utah has done it on occasion. Yeah, they're a bad defense. Yeah, they're a bad team, but we've seen them play better teams relatively close during the season. Second thing you said, what you always say, I mean, came into my handicap here is how do we trust you laying 13 when you can't stop anybody? That's just the way the Cavs are. And the third thing was that they rested Markkanen in that beatdown, knowing that they were prepping for this road trip, which is extended. Markkanen will play today. And Nurkic, didn't play. Yusuf Nurkic didn't play in that game either, and he's probable to go. So you get 2 bigs back for Utah, which I think is important here. I thought the points were a little extensive. Haven't had the courage yet to go ahead and take the points, but I think if I'm going to play, that's the way I'm going to go. Cleveland certainly, I would think, wins the game, but do they win by 14? I'm not so sure. That could be, in a high-scoring game, sometimes these numbers look a little bit smaller, but I don't know. 130 to 118 sounds reasonable to me, and that would be a Utah cover. So I think I would look Utah's way.
Okay, we'll go over to the next game. That looks like Celtics and Pacers. I show an opener of 9. Looks like most spots have 5.5 right now. We show Nimhard questionable, Jackson, Mathurin, Toppin all out for the Celtics. Minot out, Jalen Brown doubtful, Hauser questionable. Um, I mean, you could be missing a lot of scoring for the Celtics team. One with Jalen Brown, missing some shooting with Hauser, but you're also missing some defense with Minot. Um, for this Pacers team, you're also missing some scoring with Mathurin. Nimhard out would definitely hurt the scoring, hurt some pace. I don't know. This feels like more of an under game here, Rob Veno. And I could only look towards the Pacers at the house here. Missing all those guys for the Celtics. Not that the Pacers have been playing great basketball, but they have been playing better defense than the Celtics. So I really hate the thought of backing them without Nimhard and or Mathurin. I know he's questionable, but I would really want him out there. So just a lean towards the Pacers right now. Also maybe a lean towards the under. Any thoughts from you on Celtics Pacers?
Yeah, I think it totally shows the respect that is given to Jalen Brown being out for the Celtics. And really, I mean, a lot of it's already put into the Indiana power rating because they've been so injured all season long, but really not a ton of respect given for their injuries as well. And like I said, I do understand that a lot of that is already built into the Indiana power rating. But the Nemhard injury is key to knock it down 3.5 points. That's for Jalen Brown and nothing else. That's the consideration here from the market. Um, Jalen Brown had a lot to say about the referees Saturday night and how lousy they were at their job. So if he sits, maybe the refs won't take it out on Boston. But if he plays, I'm not so sure the refs wouldn't be a little whistle happy for the home team here to sort of reply to him. He is listed as doubtful. I'm kind of with you that, and I don't, under doesn't come out of my mouth very often, but it's hard to see this one getting above 220. Not hard. I shouldn't say it that way, but it's difficult to see it getting over 226 here. Indiana, for what it's worth, is trying for 3 straight up wins in a row for the first time this year. So I think there'll be motivation there for Indiana. A little bit of a confidence builder. So I almost rather have Jalen Brown playing and take 9, to tell you the truth, Skee, than have him not playing and only take 5.5. The one thing about Boston, the guys that they have on the floor can heat up and shoot it from 3. That would be the only scary part. But if given my choice, I think I'd look under.
All right, we have another game that we just saw last night. And we just saw this last night. It was an overtime game. Sixers and Raptors. Open 3, still looks like 3 or 3.5, depending where you shop. Total came down from 222.5 to 219, or as low as 219. As far as the injuries, and again, this is one they both played last night. You could get some guys ruled out throughout the day. You have both Embiid and Paul George questionable. Ingram is questionable. RJ Barrett, Hurdle, Walter, all out. Yeah, this is not really the kind of situation, a game I want to really be involved in here, Rob. No rest for both teams back to back, both off overtime. Who knows what we're gonna get. I would like to think that teams are hurting on the defensive end, or tired legs means less defense, but I don't want to put my money on it at this moment. Any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I thought for Phillies Ski that they intentionally rested George and Embiid last night, and I expected them to come back and play today. The fact that they're not announced as in yet kind of makes me wonder if what's going on with the two of them is a little more serious than first anticipated. I mean, they're both on, this injury management type of deal in back to back. So if they don't play the first, you expect them to play in the second. They've both been playing um, regularly the last, 3 weeks or so. If they play, I probably want Philadelphia here, only -3.5. Toronto, obviously, way more banged up if, in fact, those two go. And if Embiid does go, I mean, the matchup of him against Colin Murray Boyles at center would thrill me from a Philadelphia standpoint. Going to have to wait on the injury report here. I will say this about Toronto. Somehow, some way, Ski, they won that game yesterday, and they did not shoot at all. 39.8% from the field, only 15.6% from three. And there's got to be a little positive regression on a 15.6% night, 5 of 32. So they probably make a few more threes here. Numbers obviously bet down because of the injury situation. Last night, overtime, little fatigue. I don't know. I'm going to wait and see, but by the time I wait and see, this number goes up, right? By the time Embiid and George, if they are announced in, this game goes from 3 to 6 or 3.5 to 6, because if it's two of them. So I don't know. You almost have to be proactive here. I really did think, just living in the area, from what I had heard, that they were just rested intentionally last night. So it does kind of surprise me that no official word has been given yet.
I'm going to keep it going here. Nets and Mavs. This one opened up 3.5. Looks like 3.5 or 4. Total came down on this one too from 221.5. I'm seeing 219.5 there. For the Nets, Igor, Highsmith, Cam Thomas, and Williams all out. For Dallas, no AD, no Brandon Williams. Well, I'm sorry, no AD. Brandon Williams and PJ are both doubtful. Gafford is questionable. I mean, could be missing a hell of a lot of rim protection in this game for this Mavs team. And when they have Nembhard at point guard, I think they play faster. Um, Without Cam Thomas, less points for the Nets. Maybe some more defense. So I'm not sure really which way I want to go with that. The Nets did play yesterday, right? And the Nets have not been good on a back-to-back. I mean, if we look at it from that perspective, it should be Dallas at home. I guess lean Dallas, lean over, just because I think they're going to play up tempo tonight. And if they're going to win, they're probably just going to have to outscore the Nets because they don't have a whole lot of rim protection. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, I can't even lean anyway. I just fall down flat on this one. I can't play it. Like you say, the three, I mean, Lively's already been out, right? So no AD, he's out for a little bit of time with the finger injury, and then no Gafford, is zero rim protection. And when Brandon Williams plays, Dallas is able to keep up the pace. It doesn't
Mm.
all fall on Nembhard. You can bring him in and they still go fast. Without him tonight, probably get some of our favorite Cooper Flag at
Oh
point
boy.
guard, and we
Oh
don't know
boy.
we don't know what happens, right? But I don't want to play the Brooklyn side off of the back-to-back, and with their roster here tonight. So for me, it was just a complete. I couldn't even find an angle for the total. Tell you the truth, money's pushed Dallas up, total down. I don't know. I could counter both. So for me, that's just a complete pass. We could speed up the process here by just me skipping this game.
Yeah, I think I would have to go with the Mavericks if I'm playing that one right there. Lakers and Kings opened up minus 11.5, down as low as 9. Total open 230, down as low as 228.5. As far as the injuries for this one, the Lakers will be without Reeves and Thiero. So it looks like Rui is not on the injury report tonight. It doesn't show him in the expected starting lineup, but he's off the injury report. For the Kings, Murray, Sabonis, and Schroeder will not be playing tonight. Yeah, Schroeder supposedly, meeting some people in the back, having some words, maybe some a little more than words in the back. After Luca was letting them have it on the court last game. These teams play again. I just, how I feel about the Lakers. It's very hard to get me to, expect them to win by double digits just because I don't view them as the best defensive team. But this is the Kings we're talking about here. They have been pretty pathetic. Lakers did only just Lakers beat them by 24 last time they played. I mean, Lakers are past, I guess, just because I really more than not wanting the Lakers laying this many points, I absolutely do not want the Kings. So just the fate of the Kings. Lakers are nothing.
Yeah, I tell you the truth, Skee, it's the only game that I played so far. And I'm partial to the Lakers side here. And I took a shot playing their team total over here tonight. Obviously, there's a little bit of fireworks. I think that where Schroeder's concerned, the suspension is because he took a swing at Luca after the
Mhm.
game, and so Luca fired up against anybody, even if Schroeder's not on the floor, just kind of screams points in my mind. Lakers don't play a heck of a lot of defense, so they'll probably have to outscore them here. Sacramento came up with a crazy win yesterday over Houston. Crazy in the fact that they won by double digits against a team better than them, which they never do. But not that Houston's on the card tonight, but I just want to go back to something that you pointed out a couple of times last week, and it seems to be ringing true. I mean, without Şengün, they're not the same team, even close to being the same team. So that win yesterday, I can somewhat justify. Lakers haven't scored points as of late, which is why I said to start this that I'm taking kind of a chance here, but I do think they'll bounce back with points here tonight. Rui probably helps a little bit on each end, defense and offense. But I think my main thing here is just, when you have Luca in kind of those, I don't want to call it revenge, but he wants to get after you type situations, he usually does the job. So I tried Lakers over 118.5 here. I think it's probably a good side.
Man, I'm looking at this a little bit more, and I mean, this is kind of actually, man, it's kind of screaming to me. I need something in this game, Rob Veno. I'm going to continue to look into this more, but you have the Lakers off back-to-back losses. You have the Kings off of an upset win. Lakers laying 9.5 on the road. That's standing out to me. Lakers 2 days rest compared to 0. We know about
Mm.
that advantage there.
I got some numbers with that, Ski, if it helps you along any, written in my notes here. The Kings are 1-5 ATS with no rest. And the average score differential in those games is minus 22.8. So that certainly would cover for you. And then if they've played a game this year with any length of rest disadvantage, which they have tonight, rest disadvantage, they're only 3-10 against the spread. So I know you like a couple of those technical numbers. Those, I don't know if they push you right to the window or not, but they're certainly helpful if you're building a case for the Lakers.
And the last time these teams played, the Lakers were also off of back-to-back losses. They beat the Kings by 24. Granted, the Lakers were at home. I think the Lakers did have, well, no, they did not have Austin Reeves. Yeah, this is starting to feel like Lakers smash spot. That's kind of how I'm starting to feel here. Surprisingly, it's showing me that the Lakers are number 7 defensive rated team last 5 games. So maybe they're playing a little bit better defense now. Maybe we can trust them to get a little something done here. I know off back-to-back losses, I haven't seen any interviews or anything, but I know JJ Redick gets pissed. I know how he gets. So I do think I do think he'll have the team ready to go tonight. Um, I think it's the Lakers spot here. All right. Lakers or Kings team total under. One of the two. All right. Last but not least, Hornets and Clippers. Vino open 5.5, down to 4.5. Total open 228. Looks like 223.5 here. As far as injuries, Miles Bridges is probable. Connaughton is questionable. So is Sexton. Plumlee will be out. For the Clippers, no Derek Jones Jr., Bogdanovich, or Chris Paul. You have Kawhi questionable. And that's a humongous question mark right there. I mean, I feel like Kawhi has been playing solid lately. Definitely will want him in there, especially versus a Hornets team who, and again, I would double check, but I feel like they've been playing competitive, at least, point spread wise. Um, so I wouldn't, there's no way that I could bet the Clippers without knowing Kawhi's status and how good the Hornets have been playing. Like, I'm looking at these numbers now. I just pulled them up. Top 5 offense and defensive rated team last 5 games, and they've been a top 10 offense, top 10 rebounding team in the same span. I mean, why do we not back the Hornets here? It seems like this is a Hornets play.
Yeah, I think it's way easier if LA doesn't have Kawhi for sure. Clippers, for what it's worth, 9-2 against the spread. Their last 11, so certainly just as hot. Clippers, 6 of those 11 games held the opponent to 105 or less. That's really, really good defense out of them. I don't know what their last 10 stats are, but they have to be good the way they've allowed or kept teams from scoring points. In fact, if I go back, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 of 11, 105 or less for the opponent. So it's not like they've been scoring against the Clippers. I guess it's one of those games where if if Kawhi were involved, obviously you'd like to bet on both of these teams, but they happen to be playing each other. I don't know which one I would choose to fade in this spot, so I won't fade either. And obviously, the offensive numbers that Kawhi's brought to the table here as of late are huge. Clippers they've gotten away from those rockers and tennis balls, so to speak, and picked it up a little bit here. And I think I remember reading the quote last week where they just said they looked up in the standings and saw the sense of urgency, and they really have played well since then. So wouldn't like either side here. I think if Kawhi doesn't play, there's a reason to like Charlotte. Plus, it's not a lot of plus, but it is some plus. And you mentioned how good they've been playing lately.
Yeah, that's making some sense to me here. Maybe even a Clippers team total under. I mean, I'm writing that down on my list. Kawhi could be missing. Hornets have been playing defense lately. I mean, Hornets last 5 opponents 4-0-1 to the team total under. Let me see what the average is. Points per game last 5 games allowed 100.4 for the Hornets here. Who have they played? Let me just deal with this. Who have they played? The Jazz, the Pacers, the Raptors, the Thunder, and the Bulls. Not a whole lot of great teams, but the Thunder are in there. Not that the Thunder have been playing the best basketball, but they did blow out the Thunder as well.
Oh, they did. I remember that night. That wasn't close.
No.
I tried to come back with OKC second half in that game, and Charlotte extended.
Yeah, I'm looking. What is the Clippers team total?
114.5.
114.5. Wow. I'm looking here. Clippers, I mean, they've hit that one of their last 4 games. Yeah, that's worth a look at least. So I probably will be on one or the other, Hornets or Clippers, Hornets plus or Clippers team total under. And yeah, just gotta make some decisions later there, Rob Veno. Anything else before we move on here?
No, you're starting to make sense to me. So I just wrote down Clippers team total under so I can look at it a little more. It's why we do the show. It's why we talk them out, because I came in with really nothing on that game, but the more we break it down here and I stare at the numbers with you, it makes a lot of sense. I think you said Charlotte allowing 102 or something of their last 5 games.
100.2.
Yeah, that's 14.5 points below what they're telling you the Clippers need to get tonight. That's a lot of points, no matter who those 5 games were against. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Let's talk a little bit at least about this Monday nighter. We have Texans and Steelers, right?
We do.
Right around the opener for the spread. The total came down a little bit from 39.5 to 38. Man, Vino. My initial thought when we talked, we didn't. I don't think we talked about this game last week. I think we skipped it because we know we'd be here on Monday. But my initial thought last week was Texans defense. They've been elite. They've been. I can absolutely trust the Texans defense. I don't trust the Steelers defense really at all. That's just really how I view it. Offensively, and it kills me to say this. Stroud, as much, I like CJ Stroud. I've been a CJ Stroud fan since he came into the league, but he's not been like that first year. You know what I'm saying? And he's not the most trustworthy right now, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So can he take advantage of the Steelers defense? We shall see. I know Texans don't have a good track record on these. I think it's what road Monday games or something like that. Road playoff games. They haven't won one. And the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, have a good record on Monday night. At home here, I don't know, Vino. Would you any thoughts from you, Texans and Steelers?
Yeah, I took a pretty deep look into it, Ski, and I came up with Houston -3. I'll just point out these few things. Second half of the season, um, 8, 9 games. Pittsburgh only played two top five defenses. By the way, Houston's number one overall ranked on defense. Denver number one in sacks. Houston number one overall because of their run defense. But the two times Pittsburgh played a top five defense, they scored 10 and 6 points. The 6 points was against Cleveland. People would come back at me with, well, they didn't have DK Metcalf, et cetera, et cetera. Still, it's 6. It's not enough. Yeah, Metcalf was out, but in certain statistical areas in that game, like third down conversions, the Steelers, 3 of 15 in one game, 2 of 11 in the other, just miserable. And in those two games, they had 22 possessions, 22 times they got the ball, Ski, in those two games against elite defenses. And 16 of those times, the drives went 20 yards or less. They went nowhere. I don't know where they're going to go against Houston tonight. The problem, like you say, is that we got to look at Houston's offensive side. So I did. And for Houston, they've played 5 playoff teams their last 10 games. They're 4-1 straight up against them, and every single win is by 4 or more. So, yes, some are at home, some on the road, et cetera. The only team that beat them was Denver. Denver beat them by a field goal in Mile High. I figured that CJ Stroud, they have been playing a little better on offense. His offensive line is no good. We know that. That's why his play has declined a little bit. Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball quickly, but he's going to have to get rid of it real quickly. And where Metcalf is concerned, he plays tonight. But the guy covering him is Derek Stingley, who's a top 5 cover corner in the league, all pro, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. Houston's got the number 4 run defense. To me, I took D'Amico Ryans and the Texans -3. I think that's the right way here. Be one of those, ugly watches maybe, but I just trust Houston's defense a lot more than any other unit on the field.
I agree with that. Man, you gotta. This Houston team won 9 games in a row. It's not fluky. They won 9 games in a row. It's not gonna be easy if the Steelers are gonna pull this one out. I need a little bit more time to think about this, Rob. Not rushing to the window here. I do think this comment is funny, so I'll put it up on the screen. Mark Martin says, "I played Steelers +3 a few days ago. Got scared this morning and bet Houston money line." And then he follows it up and says, "I'm a coward."
Listen, we've all done it, Mark. Don't you worry. I was trying to back my way out of bets yesterday. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to preserve the bankroll.
Yep.
But yeah, and Skee, when you look at those last 9 wins, you'll probably find, like I did, that there's a handful of them that are against playoff teams, and they weren't shying away from people. They beat some lousy teams too, but playoff teams they got.
Gio says he thinks I'm gonna go. So everybody on the Texans, huh? Nah, not this time. Playoffs is a little different, Gio. Playoffs, the best team is gonna win. It don't really matter who everybody's on, in my opinion. But yeah, you know how it usually goes. All right, Vino. Think we can wrap it up now. We've been on here for 34 minutes yapping. I think we did a little bit of good stuff in between the yapping.
Little of everything.
All right. So let's see. What can I toss up here? I forgot to check, but I'm pretty sure this is good, right? If you'd like to be involved for 7 days, all access for $69, little less than $10 per day. Get every play that's up and available right now. That is the way to do it. Vino, I'm going to toss it to you on that note. Best bets, if you have one for the show, we love to hear it. If you have anything else you'd love to promote, feel free. Yeah.
Promo real quick. I will just plug the morning college basketball show, Skee, on WagerTalk TV, 10 a.m. East, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 60 minutes with the host of that show, Adam Trigger. 60 minutes of college hoop. Now that these other sports are winding down, college football almost done, NFL football almost done, people start paying a little more attention to college basketball. So if you're interested, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, full court press on WagerTalk TV. I'm going to leave the best bet as the Lakers team total over 118.5. I really think Luka probably goes for 40 tonight. The Lakers, Luka's the kind of guy that teams generally will rally around. If he's got some kind of beef, they'll follow suit. I don't like the Kings defense, especially on back-to-backs. Probably had a little easy yesterday without Şengün in the lineup and Houston playing terrible. But Lakers have had 2 days to get ready for this. So that's the way I'm going to roll here. Lakers team total over 118.5.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm not going to leave a best bet because I haven't made a bet yet. I'm starting to like different things more and more and more. But what I will leave you with is my short list, my long list, rather. Jazz plus 13.5, Celtics game under 226, Mavs minus 3.5, Lakers minus 9, Hornets plus 5, Clippers team total under 114.5, Kings team total under 109.5. I'm going to continue to cap a little bit throughout the day and make some decisions, but those are the ways that I'm looking for this Monday. Veno, always appreciate you taking the time to come cap these games and break them down with me. Definitely helps my process. I mean, I didn't have this many games I was thinking about before we came on here and did all that yapping. So appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you all as well. Good cappers, good people. Everybody here just trying to help each other win. So best of luck on this Monday night. And we'll be back tomorrow, I believe, with a lot more games. So we'll catch you guys then.